Hey everyone, Dragonflyer here. Some of you requested a Blood Deep Gay guide. As you can see, I have everything already on my screen. So first of all, let's go to the talents, what I am using. I am using Tombstone. Um, Icy Veins is saying to use Heartbreaker. I'm not really a fan of that. Yes, you maybe can use your Death Strike more often. But the tombstone, it is just a nice shield that is quite a lot of absorbing damage. So for example on Anduin it's really handy to have that. Especially when he's hitting hard, you can just use it and you have a little shield. Do it together with Icebound Fortitude, Vampire Blood or Anti-Magic Shell and you're good to go. My second row on level 25, Icy Veins is saying hemostasis, which is also fine, but I prefer consumption. I don't know why, I just prefer it. But both of them are good, but at the first row Heartbreaker, no. It is maybe more DPS and death strikes, but no, it's not worth it, in my opinion at least. Blood Tap, Relish, and Full Bulwark. I use it really defensive on my DK, so I use Full Bulwark, also giving a little bit of percentage of stamina on me. And then this row, Will of Necropolis, Anti-Magic Barrier, Mark of Blood. I think it's really depending on the boss. If it's like really a lot of volleyballs or something that can't be interrupted, or your group is too bad in interrupting at least, you can use your anti-magic barrier. But normally you will just go for the Will of Necropolis, because when you get below 30%, you get 30% reduced damage, which is quite a lot. Then this one is also one of the things that you have to see which boss it is. But I always use this, so I never change it up, even not for Mythic Plus. But I use Raid Walk. It's just handy to be a little bit quicker as a fat that night. So yeah, I just prefer Raid Walk on that one. Voracious can be used, but wouldn't recommend. Also that pact, it's useless. I just prefer the Bloodworms. It's a little bit DPS and they are healing you. So that's some fun. Then on this row, there's a lot of going on with Death Knights. A lot of people want to have the Bone Storm instead of Purgatory. I prefer have Purgatory because when I die, the healers have some seconds to try to heal me up. So I just prefer to have that kind of moment that I give people the opportunity to heal me again. But at the other hand, I also am a Necrolord DK tank. It is just way better than Fentir in my opinion, because it's more defensive and I like to play defensive. So I have my Fleshcraft, which is like a shield. Let's use it. It's preventing 55k damage, so that's almost half of my HP bar, so that's really a lot. And when you die as Necrolord, you're also having some seconds that you are dead, you can't be healed. But before that happens, you have the Purgatory, which is kind of saving you. And as a Ventir, you kind of don't have that ability. So yeah, that's not really defensive. Healers like to have a DK tank, defensive and healing wall. As you can see, normally a tank should be versatility prio, but I am mastery prio. Behind that, I don't have really a good reason about it. But I just prefer to have mastery and then versatility. Mastery is just easier to grind, and in my opinion it does the same. As you can see in the raids, you see my healings like number 2, number 3 of out of all healers. So yeah, for me it is just the way of skills, I guess. um, but also you have to know when you have to use your consumption and the death strike. Like if you're using it while you're 1% or 90%, then yeah, it's not really worth it. Back on Anduin fight, you have to soak it, and healing, of course. So that's why I always make sure that I have done all of my marrow rents, and then when he's popping that barrier, then I'm using my consumption, using my death strike, using room tap, even using my slime consumptive organ, just to help out that the thing, the barrier is just gone in a couple seconds. So I'm just really defensive, really helpful with healings. So that's why people kind of prefer me as a DK tank. But anyway, let's take a look on the bar that I have. As you can see, I have Death Strike as first because it's a prio. Then I have Death Grip, which is also a prio for me at least when we are killing ads. So I can grip them, I can just taunt quick with the dark command above it. Then I have Death Karas. Then I have Hard Strike, then Consumption, then Marrow Rent, then Death in Decay, Tombstone, the Dancing Room Weapon, Blood Boil. And then I have my little trinket, which is healing me. It's really useful, by the way. I would recommend really to get this one, because if you're using this one, you're getting a lot of stamina, which is good. And some little oozes are healing you for quite a chunk of health. And then I have Leechborn, just when I get feared, for example on Anduin with the ads, if they are not getting interrupted. And I have on my Q bar, I have Anti-Magic Shell. On E I have Dark Command. R I have Rune Tap, which is also healing new people, but I will come later on that. Then I have Gorfine's Grasp, my Vampire Blood, which is really useful, gives me 34k HP. Asphyxiate, which is stunning. Chains of Ice, which is slowing. Res, that is just a little ghoul for 1 minute. Then I have my Fleshcraft, then my Dead Advance, which is for speed, and for not getting knocked back, of course. My Interrupt, Mind Freeze, then Abomination Limb. That is just like a Grasp and a Grip. It's doing damage all around, and it's gripping all the ads towards you, which is really handy. The only thing is not handy on the boss Reigelon, because also those kind of sphere things, those orbs, you grasp them as well, which is not good. So on that boss you have to make sure that you're doing it at the intermission. Then we have Bag of Tricks, which is a Vulpera thing. So if you're not a Vulpera, but an Orc, you can do that attack power thing on it, or whatever you want. Icebound Fortitude, Raid Walk, Race Ally is Combat Dressing, Hellstones, and Enigmatic Zone. On this bar it's more like not my prio, but it is handy, or it can be handy. And then below it I have my recruitment, my mounts, Facebook page, and all the guild stuff, and flying mount and all that shit. But on how I play, as you all can see, I have 1 till the is sign. The thing is, I use my finger or fingers 1 till 6, sometimes also 7, but normally 7 I will just do it with my mouse and I put it somewhere myself. So that's really handy for myself at least. And for the rest I just use my mouse for the wall is from the change of ice, and that decay from this wave. I'm just using my mouse, and for those, for 6 and till the vampire blood, I'm using my keyboard because those are just really quick to press because it's QWERTY, as you can see a little bit. Only not the W, of course. But I find it really handy. It can be that you don't find it handy, but that's kind of up to you. Then we have one more thing to take a look on. We have those things. I'm using the Bonesmith Hyremere of the Forgeborn, of course. Then I go to the right side using my Meat Shield. It is just the Dancing Room weapon, and it increases my maximum health. So also just handy for healers out. Serrated Spalders, which is a little bit of DPS on it. It's not a lot, but it is something. Chilled Resilience is for Icebound Fortitude because it's having quite a chunk of cooldown. With this thing, you're reducing it by 42 seconds, which is a lot. Then I have my Bonesmith Satchel just to get some extra loot. I don't think that this one is really handy because it's only on mount speed, so it's worthless in my opinion. Then Insatiable Appetite, which is Deathstrike is doing some 2% healing increasements. Then I'm going not to the middle. First I did, but I changed it. I used Double-Bladed Malady, which is Blood Boil that you can stack to 3 times. That one is really that you need skills for, because you have to use a Blood Boil, but not too quick already, because your NPC will have a little thing around it, like Immolate for the Warlocks, and it will go away in about 6 seconds. So you must make sure that your second Blood Boil is just in front of that, and then you can even stack it to this 3rd time if you're doing it right, at least. So that's something that you really have to be skilled in. So that's something that you should practice. Then we have the Hymere's Arsenals. Yeah, not really going into that. Adaptive Armor Fragment. It is something that is using your strength or increasing your strength and healed by, or at least you have to be healed by, and then you're getting the 4% extra strength. The Carver's Eye instead of the Waking Bone breastplate. I think this one kind of also can be used, but I think this one is just better. Damaging an enemy above 90% health grants you 136 mastery for 5 seconds. As I said before, I like to be mastery stacked. So Bloodbound, my rune tap is healing everyone in the party for 4%. I can use twice the rune tap, so that's 8% to help healers out. It's not that the whole party is getting healed, but I believe 5 or 6 people are getting healed with it. But still, it is helping the healers, of course. And the Mnemonic equipment, which is something you can't choose anything else, so you have to choose this one. So that's kind of it. What I'm using, what I'm doing. I even showed you my action bars, my gear. You can just check it out on WoW Europe yourself, or WoW Armory, or whatever you're using. You see my item level to 64. Yeah, and the stats, you can see it. Everything you can see right now. Yeah, as I mentioned before, I'm a Necrolord, just because I like it more defensive-wise. And Ammunition Limp is really helping a lot. Also, when I died, it's also helping a lot that I can stay a little bit longer to maybe do the last percentage of the boss. Or that little percentage of NPCs through the dungeon finder, or having a little bit of extra time to get the cooldown from the combat rest available. So that's kind of it. I would like to thank you, and I hope this will help you all out with your blood DK yourself. And yeah, good luck and have fun with your DK.